Appreciate you stopping by. I do. Now let's get into everybody's favorite part, the Q&A. So let's see. I see the usual suspects are here. Cat with a K, Tesla, Darren, Dez, say Coco Melon, Mad Cow. Thanks for stopping by. I see a lot of wrenches. Thank you. I think it's Jensen says, hey, Rob, do you think MicroStrategy owns too much Bitcoin? If Bitcoin becomes the gold standard for countries, MicroStrategy will be bigger than many countries. Is that a disadvantage for Bitcoin? So this is the big question that people will ask. Like, well, it's supposed to be decentralized, but then when these major corporations are buying everything up, does this affect what Bitcoin is? Potentially, but remember, it's not like they own 10% or 20% or 30%. I want to say MicroStrategy, actually, I'm not even going to guess. Let's go to Bitcoin treasuries. .org and lay this out. So let's see. MicroStrategy owns 226%, which is 1%, which is quite high, I might add. But you got Marathon and Tesla. Tesla still has it. Wow. Riot, Coinbase, Galaxy, Block, CleanSpark. It's not that much, but that's just it. That is one company that has gone above and beyond to take out debt for collateralized loans. And me personally, max things out to buy as much Bitcoin as they can humanly possibly can. And after all that effort and all that perseverance, they have just over 1%. But I think it's gonna be a big deal. No. The thing that somebody brought up to me yesterday, which was quite interesting, and when we talked about how Trump came out and said, hey, we might actually have the reserve currency become, not the reserve currency, but as far as a strategic reserve for the dollar, we could have it for Bitcoin. And he might announce this or he might not announce this in Nashville. And he might go through with it or he might not go through with it. I don't know. But somebody told me this, they go, the same thing was said for gold until it was confiscated. And I said, so what's the chances of the US government saying, hey, since this is a national security issue and we're shoring up the US dollar, we need all your Bitcoin. And I won't discount that. It's not like, because people will say, well, that would never happen. Yeah, well, I'm sure people never thought that gold would be confiscated, that the US government would do that. I'm sure people never thought that with the cerveza sickness, that we would shut down the entire financial system and GDP to crash and print the most amount of money we've ever done just because of a virus that went around the world. Amazing how things happen. So I'll just say that it's a tumultuous time, but I still, hopefully, that's way far away. Anyhow, hope that answered your question. I don't think as far as the corporations is a big deal. I always worry about the government. And that's it. Evening, everybody. Welcome. Yeah. Cat is on Antenna is the best game ever. Played around. I just saw an article where, and let's be honest, I'm talking about this because I own Toncoin, right? Do I ever talk about things I don't own? No. So Toncoin, there was a great article. I wasn't going to share it today, but about Crypto Slate, how they are trying to be the next WeChat. And if you look at the things they're doing, because it's not just, to me, Telegram was just like WhatsApp. And I was like, why would I use that? It's stupid. But Telegram has done a lot of things. And as far as with their Toncoin and Ton Foundation, the open network, and they're making apps within apps. And these apps are actually functional apps that you can actually use. And also with the wallets that you can connect, or the integrated wallet, which is the Ton wallet, or what I use, Tonkeeper, because, United States, thanks, Gary. You can send payments because they integrated with Tether. And I'm like, this is great. So the things they're talking about as far as like with Catizen, these are all play to tap to earn, I guess, because they're going to have an airdrop. And there's a lot of games out there like that. And if you caught, say, like Notcoin in the beginning, you were up majorly, because Notcoin, and you can take a look at this. Actually, let's take a look at it right now. Why am I telling you to do it? I'm right here. Bop, 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 bop. Let's see. First of all, before we go on, I don't know what neural AI is, but it's up 63%. I'm just going to tell you that has nothing to do with Neuralink. It's just a crypto, and I'm just going to guess that this is not going to do well. Everything's a scam until proven otherwise. So someone's got something else to tell me. I'm sure you'll tell me in the comment section, but that just looks like a cash grab based on a notion by AI. I could be wrong. All right, let's see. Not coin. Holy smokes. You know, Notcoin's ranked 61. Market cap is 1.7 billion. Oh, and look at that. This is what I like about this one. The circulating supply, total supply, and max supply are all the same. What does that mean? There's no unlocks. That means that VCs can't dump on you. So that was just a goofy clicker game, which now becomes part of the Ton ecosystem. And you can use that throughout the apps that are located within Telegram. And you can use a whole plethora of different things. You can use it for payments. You can use it for gambling if you want to. You can use it for VPN services. You can use it for financial services. And I did a whole video on Toncoin and where things are going and the Telegram app. So yeah, cat is in. That's a little tangent I got off on. So maybe you should take a look at that and maybe start playing and maybe get a free airdrop. Make a few extra bucks. And it's free. All right. Rob, you're my new life coach. Well, I think you're aiming low, but I appreciate it. Peter is grossly misunderstood. Barry, I have to yeah, probably so. And even me, like I was always ticked off at that guy too, because I always felt like he was doing a disservice to the people that listen to him. But, you know, maybe it's just like, I don't know. Like the first time you heard about Bitcoin, you're like, that doesn't make any sense. Maybe people just slow to get around to it. Imagine this. Imagine being in the, I don't know, typewriter business. And you were in the typewriter business since the 1950s, right? And you're like, typewriters are going to be the best thing of all time. Then all of a sudden, you know, like 30 years later, you're like, what's a PC? That's never going to happen. You see how big those PCs are? Those personal computers? It takes a whole room. No one's going to buy those. It's like tens of thousands of dollars. And then it gets cheaper and then it gets better. And you're like, I still think a typewriter is going to make it. You just don't get it. I think the longer that you're entrenched in one sector, the harder it is to understand what's really going on. Daniel says, Rob, do you think Coinbase will handle the render upgrade? If they don't, we'll see a fetch-like dip, which will be a nice buying opportunity. Look, I have really no faith in Coinbase for them to upgrade anything. I still have Gala version 1, which is stuck there and will be stuck forever on Coinbase because I didn't take it off the exchange. My fault. And Fetch AI, they didn't support that as well, even though you can use Fetch and you can sell it and move it if you really want to. So for render, probably not. You're probably stuck. So maybe they'll put some information out at some point. Peter Schiff gets engaged from talking. He asks about Bitcoin. Well, that part's true. He does a really good job of that. Peter doesn't like Peter. Peter Brandt doesn't like Peter Schiff. True. I'm good. Once there is a Schiff crypto, he will change his tune. True, true, true. 67K. No way. Let's take a look. Oh, and there was one more thing I wanted to lay out to everybody. Remember when everybody was like, there was so, remember this when we go back into some big pullbacks. So they're coming. Remember when Bitcoin was nice and fat over here, like 71, almost 72K, just in June. And then it went from 71K in about a month, roughly a month, to 54,000. And everybody was like, this is the worst thing of all time. It's never going to go up again. We overshot our goal. The ETF screwed everything up. There's never going to be a Fed rate cut. We're not even in quantitative easing. Blah, 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 blah. AI is going to be the next big thing. And then went from 54 to this. 66,600, almost 67K. So congratulations if you bought the dip and hung around. Congratulations, you did what you were supposed to do. That's it. Jupiter says, CrowdStrike Falcon software is a Windows server-based security agent, which I guess is used by every type of Windows. Well, it's Windows. Their software update caused the chaos. That's a bummer. Windows update escaped again. That's true. Uzi says, I'm on the green, so happy. Yep, that's good. Tomato Con wasn't affected? No. That partnership with Olive Garden really did a good thing. Yeah, I like steak. I like steak. Hello? Hey? Rob, where do you think XRP is going? I got to tell you, there's a case to be made that an ETF could come for XRP. Think about it. What other crypto has clarity than Bitcoin? Ethereum, I mean, they're getting their ETF. I don't know how the hell that happened. But XRP and Ripple essentially was deemed not a security. So why wouldn't they get an ETF? And if that happens, congratulations, all the XRP holders. I take my hat off to you because that's real diamond handsing thing. I sold. Yeah, I didn't sell it all, but I wish I did. Well. Fox Savage again. Hey, happy Friday, Rob. When you lump sum early in the year, was your strategy based on capital gains taxes, trying to time your selling time next year? Please advise. So for me, you have to remember, I am in Puerto Rico. I do not pay capital gains taxes. Guy and a lot of different people live in Dubai. They don't pay capital gains taxes. However, for me, I don't usually sell in that short amount of time. And I usually, for my tax accounting practices, I use FIFO, first in, first out. So I have been buying Bitcoin since 2017, and I've been buying a lot of different cryptos. I've been dollar cost averaging since 2022. So if I buy, like, say, Near Protocol yesterday, and it goes up 10,000%, I'm still not going to sell all of it. I'm probably going to initially sell the Near, again, FIFO, first in, first out, from back in 2020. So it's not a big deal for me because I've been investing for so long. You, of course, have to think about it. I don't talk about taxes too much because on this channel, it confuses everybody. Not only the fact that if I'm talking to American citizens, it's way different than Canadian citizens. And I'm talking to Canadian citizens, it's way different for Germany. And I'm talking to Germany, it's way different than people in Hong Kong, right? So, not that I'm talking to a bunch of people in Hong Kong. So I don't really talk about it too much. That's why I just say, if you have a question about taxes, use CoinLedger. There's a link in the description. They have CPAs that are ready to, and that are based primarily for crypto and digital assets, and they know what's going on, especially for your specific region. Reach out to them. Yeah, taxes confuse me, and they scare me. I'm personally scared of the IRS. That's why I always pay them on time. Yeah, Joey moved to Puerto Rico. Congratulations. I've lost 10 pounds so far. It's great. Catching up on my Steam library, enjoying life. Thanks to the help of us. You're welcome. Joey, welcome. I'm going to see a lot more of you, I think, move to Puerto Rico. I would tell you, if you want to do something, you might want to think about doing that ASAP. There's a link in, actually, there's not a link in the script. If you do search for digital asset news, Puerto Rico, my Puerto Rico video will come up. And I talk about all the mistakes that I made and all the lawyers that I use and all the different CPAs and all the things that you might want to think about before you move to Puerto Rico. I personally live in Guaynabo. It's a great place. Watch that video. And I think if you want to move, you want to do it before the major blow off top bull market. Still waiting on that 1,000 Bitcoin Peter Zeihan called. Yes, exactly. Peter Zeihan. Yeah. Let's be honest. Like, does anybody hate Peter Zeihan for saying that? Because Peter Zeihan, if you don't know, geopolitics, talked about Bitcoin on Joe Rogan. He said, it's 17,000 or it's 18,000. Looks like it's got, or no, the price is around 16,000 and it's going to drop by 17,000, which mathematically, sure. But I love that he said that because it gives us endless memes on Twitter. So I actually tip my hat to him. Thank you. Yep, you get 10 for playing Catizen, exactly. Normies are back. The Rosconian. Health is important. Yes, health is important. Exactly. Usually catching up on Steam isn't directly related to weight loss. Do you game standing up? It's a good question. This is not for me, obviously, but it is true. Health is important. There's a phrase that I always use. This this really struck home when I blew out my back and had a ruptured disc, which is healthy people like us have 1,000 wishes, but a sick person only has one. If you do not have health, you have nothing. So just remember that when you're getting stressed out about crypto, when you're getting stressed out about different things and it's causing havoc in your body, remember it's better to be healthy than rich. Lax says, do you invest in Tesla? I've invested in Tesla a long time ago and it wasn't much. And I just haven't sold. Maybe it'll do great. And everybody's here. Guy buys Oracle. All right. Plato, Aristotle, Plato, Calvin K, Irrational Hay. Des, good to see you. Everybody's here. Beta Max them. See, I'm old enough to remember that. Uzi says, Rob, who was a sailor of Bitcoin in 2017? It was John McAfee. And John was everywhere. And he was like saying that Bitcoin's going $2 million mathematically. And he would always say this, mathematically, it's impossible not to believe it's not going to a million. And he could still be right. God rest his soul. German government still uses fax machines. Some healthcare clinics still use fax machines. I find that very odd. Rob, any thoughts on Tesla? I heard it's doing good. So congratulations to the Tesla holders. Something in German. I don't know what that is. I don't know about that. I actually tried putting myself in a time on this channel. Apparently I can't. I just have to keep my mouth closed. Hard work to do, though. Plato, you can say whatever you want to. But it's up to the, it's up to the wrenches. You're a wrench too, about what comes out. Hey, majority rules. Please bring your green screen and some Medaya. Exactly. No. Rob, choose Puerto Rico for the Mofongo. No. And if you're in Puerto Rico and you grab Mofongo, I will just tell you right now, worst food of all time. Worst. It's like having cardboard. But everybody seems to love it over there. Maybe it's just me. And before you say, oh, you haven't had Mofongo, I've had it in like multiple places. It's awful every single time. And there's no salsa. There's no spice. Like, just saying. Health is wealth. Both. Yeah. Rosconian says, Rob, on health, could you share your experience with stem cells with your back? I want to show you guys a video. That's not it. Hold on real quick. Let me bring this up. It was a MIT graduate and a doctor, and he was a spinal surgeon. And it's got like almost, it's been out for like a couple of weeks now. And he talks about how being a neurosurgeon, he loved it in the beginning. And then as time went on, he would find that that the surgeries that he would do on people's spines didn't really help too much, and sometimes it was even worse than what his surgery would do. And that was not just him; it was across the board. And this is the video right here. If you guys do a search, it says, "I was an MIT-educated neurosurgeon. Now I'm unemployed and alone in the mountains. How did I get here?" And he talks about how the people that healed themselves and what they did. And it had nothing to do with surgery. It had to do with stress reduction and the things that they ate and the exercise that they did. And this is from a legit, hold on, let me come over here, a legit neurosurgeon. So for me, I never had surgery. And I had acupuncture therapy. I had physiotherapy. I had some chiropractic services, and I also had stem cells. And stem cells I got, and it was an infusion. And for me, it was after I had done everything, and I was like 90% back, and the stem cells just brought me back like another 5-7%. It wasn't like the end all be all. So this was a place in Mexico, and it was something that I've had other friends do from the same doctor. My wife had it, and it worked out pretty well, and it was fairly cheap actually. So that's what I did for my back. And go search that video out if you have any kind of chronic pain. Just listen to what that guy said. It was fascinating. All right. Do you own any ADA? Looks like it's got, yes, I own a lot of ADA. I own a lot of ADA. And we still believe in Cardano, and we have a stake pool. So I think Cardano could do just fine. And if we're talking about decentralization, Cardano does a pretty good job at that. And people say, what about BNB? I'm like, yeah, is BNB even, they have more than one computer? I'm not for sure. Let's see. Jose, you play sand volleyball? I do, usually at Ocean Park. Bonk is still holding. I love Mofongo. Different strokes for different folks. Gooby and Doobie. Yeah, it's pretty funny. My niece is a stem cell researcher. Interesting. Jose says, are homes with pools harder to sell or rent? Actually, they are an asset. We just purchased a new property, as a matter of fact, in Ocean Park. And we actually are putting a pool in for the Airbnb, for the algorithm. When you can do searches, and if you're looking for like some type of advice on real estate, there's a playlist that I've made specifically for you, and this is what I kind of dabble in with different assets. So yeah, for pools to sell or rent, for Airbnb, it's what people actually look for. To sell, I mean, it depends on where you're at. If you're talking about in Puerto Rico, yeah, it's a big thing. If you're talking about like Minnesota, maybe not. My health plan is to not get assassinated. Just don't run for presidency and you'll be fine. Let's see. Any places that you would go back to? Plenty. Tacolandia is one of them. The San Juan Smokehouse is another one. And there's an Argentinian steak restaurant, which is probably one of the best steaks I've ever had in my life. And that's in Guaynabo. Forgot the name though. Really good. Yeah, man. I mean, if you don't have health, what do you got? Charles Hoskinson of Cardano might be the biggest snake oil salesman in crypto. I don't think he's that. I think he's an amazing marketer. Let's just say that. I think he is. Tell me who's a better marketer for a $1 billion company than Charles Hoskinson. He's great. Different strokes for different folks. You heard it here first. Yes. It has nothing to do with Joe Biden. Let's see. Are quantum computers the Bitcoin assassin? No. I'm going to tell you like this. If quantum computers become a mainstay, it's not Bitcoin's going to have a problem. It's going to be every personal security information that you have stored in your computer. It's every bank login that you have and everyone across the entire world. It's every government secret that is out there that can be hacked into on the internet. So do I worry about Bitcoin? No, everybody other stuff. Can't wait to meet you guys in Nashville. We will be there. I'll be there. Ben will be there. A bunch of other people will be there. Should be a fun time. You should come to Argentina for a real estate. They are pretty good, I hear. Rob, any plans to do a session with James? Invest Answers. I always enjoy it when you guys chat together. Not yet, but probably do something. I actually
we just were texting last week. I asked him if he was going to Nashville. He said he doesn't like to do those things. I was like, well, that sucks. I could have went you in person. Bitcoin now is ruins. True. And that's it for today. All right, everybody. So look, that's it for today. Like today's video. On your way out, could you hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. But that's it for this piece. And then we're off to the weekend. So enjoy it. Enjoy this green day. Maybe you might want to take some profits. I don't know. I don't know what you're doing. I can't give you financial advice. But if you're a bigly, take some off the table. That's it for today. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate you. See you on the next one. Adios.